Hello everyone. So today I'm going to tell you about how to master CBSE class 12 chemistry. Many of you must be appearing for the board examination. Let us understand how you can unlock your potential and achieve results which are going to be outstanding in whatever exams you go and appear. Before we jump deep into it, let's understand what are the various types of branches of chemistry which you're going to deal with. So first we have the physical chemistry, then we have physical chemistry. When we talk about 23 marks, the weightage is there. In this we will have topics like, for example, you have the topic of solution, you have the topic of electrochemistry, you have the topic of kinetics. So these are the most important topics where you have to use a lot of formulae, as well as you will have numericals. Then we come to organic chemistry, which has got the maximum weightage. As we can see here, it's of around 28 marks, dealing with chapters related to carbon and hydrogen. For example, the chapters related to it will be haloalkanes and haloarenes, alcohols, phenols and ethers, and then you have your aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids, and finally you have amines. There's another chapter which is called as biomolecules, which also can come under this category. So the weightage of this will not be 28 marks, actually it will come to 33 marks. Then finally you have inorganic chemistry, in which we will be covering up the chapters like D and F block elements in the chemistry part 1. And we have another chapter, coordination chemistry, which is also quite interesting, and scoring. So here the weightage is not 19, it's going to be for 14 marks. Let's come to the next point, that is strategic study planning and time management. So firstly you have to create a study schedule, which I'm sure all of you must be doing it at different times, but you do not actually follow it. So you have to make a realistic weekly timetable. Mind well, right from the beginning of your session you have to make a timetable and decide that on a particular day how many hours you're going to study chemistry, dedicating specific slots for each chemistry branch according to what your teacher is teaching in the school. I am sure they must have started from the first part 1 textbook and then part 2 textbook, so you may go in accordance with what your teachers are doing. But important point is that dedicate slots for each chapter, or then consistency in execution is very very important. Should not happen that you study on a particular day and the next week you forget to do that. You have to also allocate time by weightage, as I told you. Like, for example, organic chemistry has got maximum weightage of 33 marks, so it's common sense that you're going to give a lot of time for practicing the conversions and various questions, mostly from the textbook, that is your NCERT. Focus intensively on organic, as it has been said, for 33 marks. And physical chemistry also is very important and very scoring, because it contains formulae, numericals, and you get full marks. There is nothing much which marks can be lost if you're doing everything correctly. Ensuring thorough coverage of inorganic, because in inorganic chemistry, the NF log elements, you have to do little bit of memorization also. Of course, children, not to forget that balance your theory with the applications. So you have to combine your conceptual learning with lots of practice. Immediately after you study a topic, try solving the questions from your NCERT. Plus you can take the board examination question papers from the CBSE website and solve related numericals which are there pertaining to that particular chapter. Whatever reactions we are doing in the class, or you have been taught, you have to practice them. Without writing practice in organic chemistry, you cannot achieve marks. And you have to also go through the previous year's question papers. Let's come to physical chemistry, how going to master this. So for this you have got the concepts to be clear, and the problem solving approach has to be there. So here, of course, you have to see that all the formulae has to be learnt. You can make a chart of formulae and put it up on your study table so that you revise it. So physical chemistry, it demands a lot of strong foundation of good theories and also their application. So you have to practice that. For example, in class 11th you talk about thermodynamics and equilibrium. So here they focus mostly on the laws of thermodynamics, the concept of free energy, equilibrium constants, and also understand the significance in predicting the reaction spontaneity and extent of that reaction. In chemical kinetics, this is from class 12th, you have to grasp the reaction orders, rate laws, activation energy, collision theory. Also practice deriving integrated rate equations. This is important for exam numericals and half-life calculations also. Then you go to electrochemistry. Again, this is from class 12th. Here you have to master the redox reactions, which is quite simple. Electrochemical cells, what reactions take place, and the Nernst equation, extremely important for your board exam for varying concentrations. So this is what we are saying, that these are some of the important topics, which are some of the important concepts from class 11th and 12th. And of course, goes without saying that you have to memorize the all the formulas which are given in the textbook. For example, one of the formulas, delta G naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. This is just one of the examples which I have given you, so you can just go through many other formulas which are given in the textbook. Please try to revise them because they are extremely important. Pay close attention to units because you lose marks if you fail to write units in the exam. Practice step by step because every step carries marks, and definitely from textbook exercises in NCERT you will see that there are questions which are at the in the text, in text questions are there, and there are some questions which are behind the text. So please try to solve in text and behind the text, that is your behind the chapter. There are certain exercise questions given, so please try to solve all of them. You'll also see that there are certain questions which are already solved, so they are also important for your board exam. Of course, goes without saying that the past question papers also have to be seen. Now let's come to organic chemistry, which is mostly dreaded by the students because they generally think that there's a lot of things to be memorized. Here of course we need to have a good foundation of class 11th hydrocarbons chapter and the other organic chemistry chapters. Apart from that, the you have to learn the reagents which are there, the formulas. Okay, so organic chemistry requires a systematic approach to conquer its vast array of compounds and reactions. You have to focus on understanding the most important point, that why and how we are going to convert this particular thing, that is transformation. So a lot of whys you have to ask yourself. Functional groups, you have to understand the structure, nomenclature. This is, of course, questions are asked on structure. Draw the structure, write the name of the compound, characteristic reactions of each functional groups, like for example alcohols, what kind of reactions do they undergo, carboxylic acids, what kind of reactions do they undergo, and so on. So this is the backbone of organic chemistry. So if you want to be very proficient in organic chemistry in class 12th, remember you have to be very good in class 11th organic chemistry. So make sure that you revise it thoroughly. Then reaction mechanisms, you have to understand it, don't just mug it up. You have to understand it, the way the bonds are breaking, the reactions are happening, all the processes, the heterolytic fission and the homolytic fission and all that. You have to understand the step-by-step reaction movement in a key reaction mechanism so that you can predict the products and understand the reactivity. Name reactions are extremely important again because there will be 1/2 mark questions on name reactions in organic chemistry. Like for example, aldol condensation is there, then you have the Cannizzaro reaction, for example, then you have the other reactions like Sandmeyer's reaction. So there are so many reactions. So my suggestion would be that all of you should write down the name reactions in your notebook and go on daily revising it so that it becomes easily recallable. Then of course the reagents, the conditions, that is the temperature conditions mostly. Then the final product structure also should be understood. Systematic revision is important. Regularly practice conversions, at least daily. If you practice two to three conversions, I'm sure you will be able to complete the entire organic chemistry of class 12th. Then previous year's questions to reinforce memorization, problem solving skills. So this was one aspect. Let's go to inorganic chemistry here, which is like DNF block and the coordination compounds. Children, this is extremely important. You need to have master the nomenclature of inorganic compounds when your teacher is teaching. Please listen to her or him carefully. Also, you can refer some reference books, like we have ABC of chemistry, we have the Pradeeps of chemistry. These are some of the fantastic reference books for to be used by a student for class 11th and 12th. VBT is the very important theory on which 2 to 3 marks questions are asked in the board examination. CFS, diagrams can be asked, various types of isomerisms, short notes can be asked. You have to practice drawing the structures of the compounds. D block elements understand the electronic configurations, variable oxidation states. Lots of give reason questions are asked here, and you can see the previous year's questions. So here you will come to know that how D block elements has to be studied. So here mostly we have to memorize. Metallurgy principle, this was earlier in the syllabus, but now it has been removed from the syllabus. But however, it is there in the competitive exams. So you have to grasp the fundamental steps of metal extraction, concentration, reduction, refining, and key processes like Bessemer process, Hollerol's, Mont process, and all that. So this is right now not in the board examination. The memorization strategies are that you have to utilize periodic trends to predict the properties, create a summary tables for reactions and exceptions, and that means every child has a unique way of memorizing, so you can design your own methods to memorize the concepts. And then of course, even if your teacher is giving you notes, you have to make your own notes. You have to group the concepts logically, dedicate sections for physical chemistry, organic chemistry, and organic chemistry. So you can make 3 notebooks for that and practice on that. Divide each of the chapter, like for example organic chapter, into key themes, and the revision and recall has to be there. Some diagrams, mind maps can be made so that the complex reaction mechanisms can be made simple. Structures can be drawn, flow charts can be drawn. Lots of diagrams wherever possible you can do it so that you understand. Colors also can be used. Of course, you understand this point. That is, for example, here it's given that you can use red for exceptions, blue for formulas, green for definitions. So it depends, it's an individual choice. You can use strategic color coding so that you understand which topics are more important and which are not that more important. Quick revision sheet, reference sheets, of course small sheets you can make. Concise cheat sheets, that means you have to for critical formulas, important formulae, equations, reactions, important definitions. So very short chits you can make, that in between you can just pick it up and just start revising, and last minute revision can take place. And these strategies which we are discussing will help you to reach your goals. Then we come to the practice and error analysis. Of course, once exams are held, you can understand that you have made some mistakes in the question paper, so you have to turn mistakes into learning opportunities. It should not happen that if you've lost marks in particular question, you just do not see it. You have to go to that particular question and try to understand what went wrong and why have your marks been deducted or lost, and try to improvise. So analyze the question patterns. The question papers of the previous years have to be seen, the topics which are recurring again and again you have been asked, so you have to understand. Revise question types: 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark. Assertion reason questions, which are very important right now in the present scenario. Assertion reason and MCQs, these are the 2 types of questions which are asked in the chemistry. And marking schemes, understand what's frequently tested. Time management, of course your speed has to be quite good, and you have to do the good better time management. Otherwise, even if you know everything and if you do not write on that time limit, you will lose marks. So practice under timed conditions to improve speed and accuracy. And you have to simulate exam pressure to build endurance. That means you have to practice solving question papers at home for 3 hours, so that you understand that this is how I will complete my question paper in the board exam. From every mistake you have to learn, thoroughly review incorrect answers. Of course, before submitting a question paper, I'm sure you all are revising it and seeing that if you've committed any mistake, and understand the underlying concepts you missed and why. Then reinforce that knowledge to prevent recurrence. Consistent smart practice with rigorous error analysis is your pathway to higher score. Memory techniques for chemistry mastery. You have to we can see that we have got some catchy acronyms or visual mnemonics to recall trends in electronegativity, atomic radius, ionization, and then we have reaction sequences. Develop some simple flowcharts and story narratives for multi-step reactions, highlighting reagents, intermediate products as key plot points. Formulas, you have to break down the formula into their components and associate elements and subscripts with memorable visual cues or short phrases for easier recall. And the complex nomenclature, you can say deconstruct the IPAC names into their root words, prefixes, and suffixes. Practice systematic naming rules to reconstruct structure of the name. So for this, the best thing is to practice all the NCERT questions so that you can score full marks. Exam day strategies. Now we have some strategies like strategic time allocation. Allocate time to each section, like you have for example ABC section, so understand that this section requires half an hour, and this section requires 20 minutes, and so on. Stick to your plan and flexible. So this is only possible if you do practice at home, otherwise it's not possible. Manage the exam stress. Students, you're highly stressed, so please remember that you have to drink a lot of water, have a healthy diet, so that you don't get stressed during exams, and keep cool. And as mentioned here, you have to take few deep breaths if you feel too much excited or overwhelmed, and remind yourself of your preparation. Focus on one question at a time. Do not get panicky. You need to be very calm. A well-executed exam strategy is as important as thorough preparation for achieving your best results. Now, of course, when we look at the question paper, the first thing is to tackle the difficult questions. Do not get stuck. If it is too difficult, too challenging for you, to not take too much pressure. You just leave it for some time and move on to the next question. And after you solve all the questions, that means the ones which you know in a best way, then come back to the question on which you were stuck. Do not waste your time. This is extremely important. You have to review final review techniques. The remaining time, if you are left with, let's say, 10 minutes, you go through the question paper and find out if you have made some errors, if you have missed some questions, and look at your presentation. Underline all the important points and the key words. Now let's come to the resources. As I've already told you, an NCERT textbook is most important. You have to go through every line. There are many digital tools available online which you can go through video lectures. There are many free content given on the CBSE websites also. Please go through them. You have to use some reference guides, like I told you, ABC of Chemistry by S.P. Johar and Pradeep's Chemistry. You can refer. These are very good books. Apart from that, you can also have books like Exam Idea, which is just before exam you can use for revision. So I think one Exam Idea, one ABC or Pradeep's can be used by you, because it will have a lot of practice problems and it will help you. Of course, there are many test series being given on the CBSE websites also. You can please go through them. Try to solve as much as possible. The more you practice, the more you do writing practice, the more it's going to be better for you. So students, now you can see your path to chemistry as you embark on your chemistry journey. Consistency is very important. Keep on working hard regularly. Do not lose hope. And even in small increments, you will feel good. It will build a strong foundation. Do not underestimate the power of daily practice and review. And you have to believe in yourself. Chemistry can be challenging sometimes, but if you focus on it with dedication and the right positive mindset, you definitely can understand the complex concepts, and you have to trust the process. Apply very smart strategies. Okay, note taking, writing practice, as I told you. Make a smart practiced habit. Memory techniques to be used. For example, we have this LOAN. Like, for example, this is one of the acronyms which we're using for electrochemistry chapter, in which L stands for left hand side, O stands for oxidation, A stands for anode, and N stands for negative. So in this way, we try to remember certain things. So this is called a memory technique. These tools are designed to make your learning more efficient and enjoyable. And remember, success is achievable. Okay, success is achievable. This is the most important point. Your hard work and perseverance will yield results. Embrace every step of the learning process and know that your goals are within reach. Right now, with this, I stop here, and I wish every one of you the best of luck for your next coming academic session and coming academic exams. Go forth, conquer the world of chemistry. Keep learning and keep working hard. God bless you. Bye bye.